Hello, are you there? Is it me you're
Wait, what you
looking
doing? It's
for?
ready.
I know.
Oh, I'm like, what are you
Hey,
doing?
everybody. I was singing to the people. Oh, welcome back to our channel. Thank you so much for joining us again. We are back. I'm Intisar, if you didn't know, but you can call me Zar. This is my beautiful husband,
Hey,
Joe.
hey,
You can call him
Joe.
Mr. Joe. We are back and we are talking all things married at first sight. So this gonna be a fast one because we got shit to do. Okay, you see us, we dress, laid to the side, press all that because we got to get up out of here. But we wanted to come and chit chat with y'all about married at first sight. Not that much happened. So much happened, but
Yeah,
nothing
I
happened.
thought it was pretty an eventful episode.
So it opens up with Steve, but he ain't talking about nothing with his brother, so we can just move on. He talking about
Yeah,
the same shit he was talking about.
it's just they
Um,
gonna wear this storyline out.
I
I mean,
mean,
I
beat
get
it to
it.
death.
Like they don't have a lot going on. We say this every week, but I mean,
But they don't gotta do. It's just getting a little bit out of
we
hand.
could talk
Like,
about something else. Like y'all don't
oh
talk about.
God,
Is it nothing? They have to be. I know they're talking about other things. It's funny because in the after party,
Keisha.
Katina
Uh,
Katina mentioned something that happened as a part of their relationship. I think it was like a gift. He surprised her with like a bracelet or something like that, and she was like, that was like one of the best moments that they had. And she said, Lifetime just didn't show it. So
it makes it clear that
it just
they're.
makes it clear that
Yeah,
it's a lot of different things going on that are not
yeah,
being shown on camera, which, like I said, I get it in editing. Sometimes the story tells itself and you just go with the story.
yeah.
But at the same time, it's like y'all beating this story into the ground.
To
We
death.
get it.
So let's move on to more pressing matters. First of all, Stephen Noy didn't have that big of a episode again,
Nah, they didn't.
so let's just move on from them.
I'm down.
Let's move on to Mark and Lindsay.
Yeah.
Mark and Lindsay actually had a really redeeming episode. I feel like Mark is unemployed, just like Steve. So I don't know if
Yeah.
that's like a
No,
thing.
well, what happened was Mark ended up getting fired because he was taking out so much time to film. So Mark ended up getting let go from his job.
I just feel like Mark is in a fascinating place. How is everything happening to him right now? Anything that could happen to Mark is happening to him. And it's so funny because I do think he has a really good partner in Lindsay when she takes her Xanax. Because one thing is for sure and two
Or
things
her
for
edibles,
certain.
let's be clear.
It's been one
She was
month.
on
It
something.
took it took Lindsay 1 month to get that Xanax prescription fulfilled. But
Yeah.
it's filled, boo, and we can see you now. We see you and you are coming all the way through. She was so chill this episode and was just like, yeah, like
But it reminded me of when Elijah took his edible.
he took his Xanax. Y'all got to get some drugs.
Clearly. They
Y'all
are
be wearing me out.
they are clear cannabis users.
And it's
And
fine.
there's nothing wrong
And
with
it
it.
is nothing wrong with
Because
that.
sometimes you need something that
Let me tell
literally
you
slow
something.
you down.
Don't even talk about it too much because I might get a little tingle.
Yeah,
You know,
sometimes
my body is a follower. I
sometimes that's what you
mean,
need. Because it made them both much more palatable. Like
and
Elijah when he took his little whatever,
he was
he
so
was so
chill.
chill. He ain't mess up to the next day when he was just
That's
raw
a fact.
dogging the life.
That is a
And
fact.
then
Same
so
for
much with
Lindsay.
Lindsay. Lindsay
Same for
was just
Lindsay.
like, yes, Mark, I just really I mean,
But
I'm like, who is this person?
I really want to talk about some things that Lindsay said because I think she is spot on. Now, I did think for her and Mark to be having a conversation about him being unemployed, part of me felt like she was piling things on him. But I thought, because
Yeah, which she typically does.
I'm the same way though. Like I feel like
No, you don't pile
no, 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 no.
on.
That's not what I was getting at. What I was no, I don't. But what I was getting at is let me
Like
see.
if I'm having a bad day or a bad week, you never like go, well, you know what? I had a bone to pick with you from last night. Like, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
just not the time. There's a place and a time for everything,
I
you know?
don't think that's the time. I think the way she started the conversation by telling him, take some time to figure out what you really want. Like, don't just go getting jobs and doing shit just to do it.
Yeah.
And I understand that because Joe got a busy spirit too,
Yeah.
where he gotta be doing something. And people don't understand that success comes not when you're doing all these things. It comes like in that lull. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you're in a place of receiving. And I think that that's what she's saying. Like, allow your spirit to relax. You
Yeah.
know, because if you working hard, obviously working hard at the rate you're working is not netting you the profit that you want. So maybe if you take a
Yeah, because
step
I think
back,
he was doing busy work, which is different from when you're doing something and you're passionate and it just consumes you. And
but I think you can get into busy work too, though.
I
Like I
think
think you have a because you have the spirit of just staying busy. You do anything to keep yourself
who,
busy.
me personally?
Yeah, I think you got
No,
the
I don't.
spirit of busy work in
I'm
you.
always I have a lot of ideas, so I'm always working on like an idea or another project. Where Mark, I think his job was not necessarily his passion. You understand what I'm saying? Like I
Passion is whatever that means,
meaning
but
meaning like meaning like what's your goal in life, right? Like my passion is music, my passion is drumming. I've been a musician since I was knee high to a grasshopper, right? Mark, I don't think Mark was necessarily like dreaming of like being
yeah,
a, you
a
know what I
regional
mean?
manager.
So,
No, I
so that's what I'm
understand, but
saying.
I think that
So I
was her
think
point as
but
well.
that's what I'm getting
Yeah, that
to.
was her point as
I'm
well.
getting to that. I understand the gist of what you're saying. Like I think that it's similar to Olajuwon. It wasn't the content, it was the timing of it. And you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I
so
just felt
maybe
like,
that's the running theme tonight.
yeah, like that is not this is not the time for you because it really can cause another issue. Like if you're not picking your spots on timing or delivery,
Yeah,
it can compound into a whole nother issue that y'all didn't even have.
and I think
You know what I mean?
1,000%. And I think two things. I think that the problem is that I agree with everything she said out her mouth, but the timing at the same time, the timing wasn't like necessarily the greatest time. But she made some very fucking valid points. Number one, sit the fuck down. Like you're doing too much. Like so much is happening in your life. You haven't even processed that shit. Like, you know what I mean? And that's what I mean by busyness. Like where I say you have a busy spirit. Sometimes so much be happening around you and you'll keep going where it's just like maybe you just need to process.
Well, yeah,
You know what I mean? That's what I
I
mean
think
by busy
everybody
spirit.
handles like
And whatever you're going
stuff
through
different. And
differently.
for me, it's
Yeah.
funny because I was talking to a friend of mine about some stuff that he was going through, and I said for me, I to your point, I jump into work, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's one because I told her like when I take time off to spend time, it's why I get on her by being on her phone story time when we're together because when I take time off, it's not because I don't have anything to do. It's because I'm stopping from all of the things that I have to do and I'm prioritizing family time. I'm prioritizing wife time, right?
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes it's you to your point, it's paramount to take a step back and take a break because it can drive you crazy. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's your passion is something that you love to do, like it can drive you crazy. You have to unplug. You got to put the phone down. You got to,
Yeah.
leave the office. And now that so many people working from home, nobody is ever really leaving the office, right?
Right. I
So
know I
yeah,
experienced that. And that might be that might have been what Joe was talking
well,
about.
yeah, that too.
But I do think that but she said a very valid point where sometimes you gotta just like reassess. Cause who knows? He might open up a whole nother
Yeah,
set of skills that he has just by taking a step back, right?
yeah,
So that's the first thing. The other thing is like I think that he needs to she was right to say, not in that moment, but she was right to say, you do a lot of things based on what Mark need to do. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And you don't, because he doesn't. And since they've been together, nothing he said to me has kind of ingratiated her in his space.
yeah,
But she is doing a very good job of doing it the other way around. And when she said it, I said, "Oh, girl, you spot on." So when she's receptive and the Xanax hit, she has a way of saying things. She wasn't combative with him. She
The
just,
problem
it
is
was the
it was
timing.
a little combative
He's
because he
dealing with
just
something
got
else. He's
like
dealing with something
when
else.
somebody just get fired from their job and they
Yeah,
come home to
now's
you,
not the time,
that's not
bitch.
the time to be like, well, let's talk about it. Like,
Right. Like,
no.
bitch, I got other shit going
Yeah,
on.
like, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that, and that is what they talk about when they say being a soft place to land and
Yeah.
being creating an environment for intimacy. Like intimacy doesn't always mean touching and kissing. And
But
I think
you don't think she was trying to do that
no,
at first? At
no, I
first
think
she
that's her
said,
flaw. I think that's her flaw. Like
yeah, she
everybody
always
says,
coming in hot.
Lindsay, right? Everybody says
You heard
Lindsay.
that?
What?
I said she always coming in
Yeah,
hot.
yeah. Lindsay, I said it right. Yeah, yeah. Lindsay has redeeming qualities,
Yeah, for sure.
but Lindsay is very good to take 10 steps forward and then take 6 steps backwards. And that that little snippet right there is what people are is what people are talking about when they say that.
So he ends up taking her away on a cute little 1 month anniversary. And quite frankly, I thought it was beautiful.
It was dope.
I thought what he got her as a gift was dope. But y'all, Chris showed up, which we love Chris. Excuse me, is that his name?
Yeah.
Okay, Chris showed up, which we love him. I really, really do enjoy him. He was there and he helped Mark pick out a terranium for Lindsay. But is it me? Or do y'all think that Chris and Lindsay would have been a good match? Is
I
it
I think that Chris would have been a good match for anybody. And every time I see him, I am low key upset at how much they really fucked him.
me? They did. They did. And it's
Like
so
it's
sad
so sad because they did not have to do him like that.
at all.
They
I
didn't.
hope he get like on The Bachelor or something. Like he needs a show
You know
because,
what they should do? Put him on next season.
well, no, he can't get married twice.
I mean, why not? Many people have done
No,
it.
touche.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's not what I mean.
like why? You know what I mean?
No, you know what I
Like
mean.
y'all fucked up. Let's just like you know what I'm saying.
But
Like
that's
you
why,
know when you go to the car, you go to the car dealership or
yeah.
something, and they mess up and they say the next time you come back, this one's on us. Like y'all owe him a like this is on us. Like
But that's why I'm thinking, like maybe not. Maybe getting married at first sight might not be the thing. That might not be the thing, but
he probably
maybe
he's
maybe
scorned to me.
having like a bachelor, kind of like a bunch of women he can pick from. He can date everybody, get to know everybody, and
That
then choose somebody in
I
the
think that
end.
that's a great idea, but
Thank
Lifetime
you.
don't have that yet.
No, they don't, but they
So all
need
they
it, and
have
they really need
is
it
to run it back.
for these rejects from Married at First Sight. Not rejects, and I don't
They
want to
do
call
need
Chris a
something.
reject, but I think we need something that's kind of like a follow up because y'all just ruin people's lives, and we just supposed to be okay with that and move
Yeah,
on.
they do need something.
So I thought it was really cute, but he got her, and everything he did based on her wants, and I really think she needed that because as much as she comes in piping hot, it was nice to see a little bit of redemption
It was.
and to see that he cared because I told you, as much as I think that she's extra, I think he gives absolutely positively nothing. And I feel like that's why she kind of,
You talking about Mark?
yeah, I feel like that's why she feel like she got a consumer room because he gives nothing.
I think that's just on camera when we're there because we talked about something important last season about how people show up differently on camera than they do when
Oh
they're not on
yeah,
camera, and he
yeah.
strikes me as the type who is not comfortable in front of a camera. Which I get it. If you've been to Boston
Mm-hmm.
and you've met a Bostonian,
Mm-hmm.
they are very how do I say this nicely?
Eclectic.
Casual people. I don't know if that
Oh,
word.
okay. That's
So all of this is not for them.
yeah, they not all
No,
okay, okay, casual people. So yeah, but I think they had a good episode, and I was really happy to
they
see that.
did. The little
Let's
tiki hut was dope.
yeah.
The getaway was
Oh, the
dope.
getaway was so
And
nice.
but that is a lesson in acquiescing to your spouse. Because I think we talk about people coming in so much with this single mindset
Hmm.
of, well, I'm gonna just do what I do. I don't do that, right? We talk when Jasmina, right? Early in the episodes, Michael wanted to do this. Jasmina sat on the side because that's not what she does.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mark just showed you a lesson in this is what you do. Mark is not an outdoorsy person. She said, how long have you how many, how much time have you spent in the forest? He said, right now. I'm doing this
Yeah.
because I married a woman who's in the outdoorsy things. So I'm gonna get my ass up and do outdoorsy things.
That's a
right?
fact. And
So
sometimes you got to do that.
period. So that's why I don't like when I see these people and they go and they sit off on the side. Mila did it last. No, it wasn't Mila. It was somebody else that did it last season where they just refused to do activities. And Jasmine is the one who I remember from this season where they were doing stuff at the beach and stuff.
Hmm.
And she said, because I don't do activities. Like that shit is whack. That shit is whack.
Well, I don't want to beat up on Jasmina, but we could talk about them next.
Well, that
So,
was a fact. She sat on the side and it's whack. That I
and
mean,
that's that on that,
that's just that
Jack.
on that. Yeah, yeah.
So first of all, I'm not sold on Jasmina and Mike, and I don't give a fuck what y'all say.
Nobody is. Jasmine and Mike ain't sold on Jasmine and Mike.
I
And it's
think that,
clear.
and it's sad because what's clear to me also is that Mike wants desperately to be a good husband and to show up for her, and I just
But he's another one who I feel like would have been a good husband in any situation to
I agree.
anybody because he's
I
trying
agree.
and this is and you can tell that he's dedicated to this process and
I
he low
agree.
key got fixed.
He kind of got fixed because I feel like, first of all, I don't like the way they talk about marriage. Like
Who are you talking about?
Jasmina and Michael. When I was in the former life. I lived a former life, and I remember at the time my ex used to say to me, you have to speak about this in a certain way, like you want it to thrive, because anything you say like negative or bad about this, you're speaking it into this
All she does
relationship.
is pour water on a fire.
And let me tell you something, that shit is true, y'all. And that's from
It's
a bitch who
nonstop.
really done lived a full life. It's really, really true. Like you can't, and even if you're trying to talk about it in a way, because when I say that, I'm not saying that they given it was a they had a positive 1 month
Yes,
anniversary.
they'll be
But they'll
having good.
still
This is a thing that happens all the time with them. They'll have a moment and a vibe,
yeah.
and then Jasmine will come in and bust that thing up like right off the top rope. They'll
Yeah,
be
she
talking
will.
and he'll say something like we learned a lot, we went through a lot of things, but we also learned a lot of things. She'll come in with, well, it was really just a waste of time, but
Literally.
and it's like,
But even when he said, I didn't even like when he said, well, it's been a roller coaster and the ups and the downs and the emotional and this and that. Like,
but even when he said that, he didn't give it the energy of like
you didn't
this
think?
was a waste of time. No, I've
I
never
don't think he
got that
gave
from
it. I
him.
don't think you're
Like I
absolutely
just
right.
wasted my time and I'm bitter about it. He never gives me that.
I think no matter where they would have been, period, she'd have been bitter.
Well,
Because I
yeah.
think she's dealing with something. Maybe it's an attraction thing. Maybe I don't know. But I
We
think
know it's an attraction thing. I mean, they give a little window into her actually admitting to it later on, and
they
maybe
did.
yeah, it was like a little preview. But
Oh, I missed it.
I mean, we know I mean, this is something that we've known, especially those of us who've seen through the fluff and seen at the core. We talking about another Alyssa. Like we
Yeah.
know that that's really what it is, because at the end of the day, everybody has issues.
Yeah.
Everybody works through issues, and your thing is, it seems like her issue is always inflated. It's always augmented a little bit more. She put a more sauce
Oh,
on
I
it.
agree. Yeah, I'm just not sold on them. I think that the way that they talk about their marriage, I mean, I like you said, I don't think that Michael is nearly as. I think Michael matches her energy though. So I don't. I think he wants to speak highly about where they are.
Yeah.
I think he wants to speak highly about her, but she is kind of like, even when y'all don't think she has very negative energy.
Yes, I think everybody thinks that.
So even when she hugged him, she said like 5 times, "Oh, your hands is cold." Now, don't get me wrong, his hands may be
I
cold,
mean, it's
but I don't
all the
even believe he
time.
touched you that much. You know
It's
what I
yeah,
mean?
but that's what I mean by it. Just goes to show that like you're just not into him, and you're having a hard time
Yeah.
really navigating how to fake the funk
I just find the whole situation, I really want to be invested in them, but I just don't have any faith. And I feel like
at all.
even let him this man did all that. She ain't even kissed this man in the mouth, y'all.
I know.
Like, that to me is a sign. Like, you, first of all, and I mean this with all due respect, people really be out here acting like they motherfucking Mother Teresa.
That's
And
a
we know
fact.
y'all be whores. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I mean that with all due respect. I'm not saying you got to kiss every man in the mouth or whatever. I'm not saying none of that. I'm saying this man is your husband. He got up and did something for your ungrateful ass, and you didn't even feel like you had to like touch on him, kiss him in the mouth. None of that.
Yeah.
Like y'all don't feel like y'all have to provide, and not like I'm not even on no like. Sometimes you got to give a little sugar. Like I just felt like it was kind of like
But you know what's a sign of me? The fact that they kept saying the best part of our relationship was our wedding day.
I'm glad you brought that up because I had that in my notes.
Now, that sounds fine for couples who have dated and courted each other and been engaged for months or whatever, because your wedding day
It's the
is
culmination.
custom.
Yeah.
It's a culmination of that, and it's customary to the two of you, right? It's all about the two of you. Like our wedding day was one of the best days of my life, but we had uh
It was
chip
lit,
we
y'all.
had potato chip bags with our faces on them, and we
Yeah.
had, I mean, it was us. Like our wedding day was dope to me because it was us. It was Joe and Czar in a
Yeah.
nutshell,
Yeah.
right?
Or at least Joe. It really was Joe's
It
wedding.
was no, but it
I
was
just
Joe and
was
Czar.
there. I was just
But it was
there.
Joe and Czar in a nutshell, and that's what people said to me when they said, when they, because everybody, I mean, people who I didn't know who weren't at the wedding was talking about our wedding.
Yeah.
And the one thing that my sister said was it was so dope because it was so y'all, right? So when we say our wedding day was one of the best days of our lives together or whatever, that's why we're singing it. For Jasmina and Michael to continue to say that when
Yeah.
your wedding was literally
The first day y'all met.
the first day y'all met, y'all didn't know each other, y'all knew nothing about each other. Like the wedding was generic because it was made for two people who didn't know each other.
Literally.
So the whole thing was cookie cutter. Like you got, you know what I'm saying? Not that you shouldn't have enjoyed your wedding day, but the fact that y'all keep harping on, I mean, they said it like 10 times in the episode. This was the best day. You know, we keep saying that was the best. The best day of y'all is existence was the day that y'all literally knew nothing about each other. That was weird because normally when you see the happy couples on Married at First Sight, they draw back to times
Yeah.
when they were spending with each other and that
Yeah.
they were getting to know each other and stuff
They
like
say
that.
that the wedding day is stressful
And it's
because you
stressful because
don't
you
know.
don't know who
Yeah.
you don't know that person. And a lot of them when they give some BTS about the wedding, they say like it was a lot of standing around. We
Yep.
barely could talk. It was a lot of like, you know, do this again, do that
Yep.
again. On top of like a lot of the Michigans that you go through when you have a wedding, a regular wedding, right? So imagine constantly talking about how the best day of our existence was the day where I kind of barely spoke to you and I didn't know anything about you. And I literally just asked you your last name. And we just went through the motions and did the same shit that every other couple was doing because the wedding was made for person A and person B.
I
That's a red flag to me.
I just feel like y'all. First of all, y'all not gonna feed me game with bullshit sprinkled on it. That's
Period.
not what you're gonna do with me, okay? So, and I always tell people, and I don't know if it's my earthy energy or whatever, but don't tell me the lies you tell yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, because we see through it, and it's so blatant, and it's unfortunate because Jasmina is just going. She just going to get her check into the end of this because my
That's a
thing
fact. That's the
is,
one thing she outsmarted Alyssa.
yeah, like because my other thing is why I really don't understand. He not even a mean. Do his breath stink? Like, do he stink? Like, what is it? Because he not a bad looking guy. And I
No.
always tell people this all the time, especially for y'all single women, because everybody want this month. He got to be fine. He got to be this. He got to be that. Get you somebody who is good to you first. Fuck all that. Like, you know what I mean? You want somebody who generous, who is nice to you, not rich, generous. There is a difference because you can meet
Because
a
there's a
motherfucker
lot of
from
rich people
Walmart.
that's
It's stingy,
stingy and ain't giving
okay?
you a goddamn
You know
thing.
what I mean? You want a motherfucker. You want the motherfucker who work at the McDonald's. Not that you want him, but if he work at McDonald's, you want to know that he
You
would
want
give you
somebody
your
that's for
whole
you.
check.
Yeah, you want
You
somebody that's
want him to
for
be
you.
for you 1,000%. And I'm not saying that, oh, in order to get that he got to be funny looking. I'm saying that y'all be fumbling the bag, high key. A lot of y'all, and and she is she's probably gonna meet somebody wonderful or whatever, but I think that here is it might be a really good
Meeting
match.
somebody wonderful isn't the challenge,
Mm.
because I would argue that a lot of people have met wonderful people, and if your picker is off, you just walk by them or you snuff them out.
Well, I think that she has, I think that Jasmina has lied about her, and I don't want to say lie like she's a liar because I don't think that she's a liar. I think she tells herself lies. Okay. And then they become a truth for us. So I think that all these successful relationships that she's been in, or whatever the
Oh,
case may be,
yes.
is
I
like,
think a
are
lot of
they
people do that too, though.
successful? You, Joe, when I tell you, I tell people all the time, people ask me, like, why did you get a divorce? I said, because I was a bad wife. And people say, like, damn, I ain't never heard nobody say no shit like
I
that.
think a
And
lot
I'm
of
like, that's the
I
truth.
think a lot of people have revisionist history about their
A
own
1000%.
rel
Nobody want to be a villain.
relationships, and not even that, just nobody. A lot of people.
It's
I'm not gonna
trauma
say
too
nobody.
sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to just be transparent and real
Yeah, that's true.
about what what the role that they played in the demise of any relationship or whatever. Like a lot of people, their first thing is, well, he did this and he did that,
Literally.
and she did that and she did that. And I think that the only way that you get better at anything in life is being real about your strengths and weaknesses. I used to have a private instructor, a teacher, who told me, when you sit down and practice, what do you practice? And I told him, and he was like, you realize you're just practicing stuff that you're good at.
Mm.
You're just wasting your time. If you sit down and practice things that you suck at, it sucks, first of all, because you spend time doing, nobody wants to spend time doing stuff
Mm.
that they're not good at. And then it affirms and confirms the fact that you're not good at this thing, right? That's the only way you get better, right? And so I think that a lot of people in life need to take that advice. Like, you are not leaning or working on the things that you're not good at. And a lot of people aren't even acknowledging it.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard for people to even say, like, I suck at communication and I need to get better at it, or I suck at this, and you know what I mean. And so
Hmm.
I think that that's just a big part of just getting better, just like actually acknowledging the things that are a weakness and leaning in and working on those things.
And I think some people, I think there's a population of people who do get it, and I think that those people are ready
Yeah.
to be a part of a partnership, because I think transparency and fuck transparency, self awareness. That's what it is.
And
It's self
1,000%,
awareness.
man. And that's why I am a little bit, I cape for Elijah a little bit, because the one thing that he is, you can tell, is self-aware. Elijah will come back and say, I know I need to work on my tone. He'll come back and say, I know that sometimes I talk, I'm learning to stop talking at my wife and talk to her. He'll say, I know my energy is a
But
lot, but
he gotta
he'll,
do it though.
right, but being, but the what they say in AA, the first step in it in fixing the problem is admitting that you have it. And 90% of y'all motherfuckers can't admit that y'all have it.
Yeah.
Jasmine's problem is she can't admit a goddamn thing.
Well, she just started
You
saying,
understand what I'm
like,
saying?
I'm not gonna talk
Period.
over you and all that.
But we
But we tired,
we're 10
Chad.
episodes
Literally,
in. You
literally,
understand what I'm saying?
literally.
So if the one thing y'all can't say about Elijah is he is not self-aware.
Yeah.
He's very aware that his energy, and so is Katina about her shit and her husband. She said, I know Elijah is polarizing. So people meet him and they either gonna like him or they gonna hate him.
Well, I get it. I'm about that polarizing life.
But just the idea of being self-aware is a big step.
I
That's, you know, we
agree.
got to give that to him, because we see a lot of people that come on Married at First Sight who can't admit to anything.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I think, but I'm saying all that. I think we saying all that to say, y'all, we not buying what y'all selling. That's what I'm saying. I don't give a fuck. Y'all can stand at the altar from now until the Himalayas, but
Not the Himalayas.
we not I'm not sold. I'm just not sold. And I think that, like, you know, I see it more for Lindsay and Mark than I do
Oh, a thousand
Jasmina
percent,
and Michael.
a thousand
And I
percent.
think that it's unfortunate because I think I don't know what happens when we none of us do when the cameras aren't rolling, but I don't find her to be receptive.
Nah,
It's
she
no
giving
way
him
that
dust,
man
bro.
does that for you and you're a month in and you aren't. I don't know. I just was kind of like underwhelmed, and I'm underwhelmed with her. And I want to like her, and I'm underwhelmed. So there's that. Let's talk about Katina and Elijah One, who had what started out to be such a great.
Oh
one
Lord.
month 1 month anniversary. I thought they had a good they got on the gondola and it was really really pretty, and it seemed like it was something that they hadn't done, and I even liked how affectionate they were with one another. You know what I mean? Like it was
I,
good to see
it
that.
was good vibes.
It was
And
good vibes. It was good vibes. But
then
I
it got
just
weird.
and then it got weird, and we just gonna get to the meat and potatoes because the other shit was filler. So they go out, they meet with everybody because it's the 1 month anniversary and we all got to sit at the table and talk about it.
Right.
So they get there, and what's clear is that, or was maybe not so clear, is that everybody speaks about their relationship where they are and how they're just taking it one day at a time and we're going to see, and it requires consent. Even when Jasmina said at the table she was being negative,
I know. I know.
I just can't. I just can't.
Cause
Words.
she can't keep
I'm
the
sorry, y'all.
act
I
up.
got
She
distracted.
can't keep the act up, but for so long. So that's what it is. Like it's
It's
like
so annoying.
she breaks character. She trying to save face
But
for
just
y'all.
say you don't. I can't. They get there, and this is what I don't fucking like about Elijah one. Katina says what she says. Like, I feel good about us. We're consistent. Wooty wooty whoop. He says, what did he say? Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this is a marriage, or are we just good friends?
Yeah, well, when he said his part, that's when he went into the whole thing about. It's funny because at the
I
time,
hate men.
at the no, because at the time when it's happening, you feel like, why are you pulling the Jasmina? Like you feel like, why are you throwing this? Why are
Literally,
you
this
throwing this water?
wrench.
Yeah, why are you throwing this water on the fire? But then we find out that he found some shit on her phone and he just had a battery in his back and was trying to sit on it the whole time and he let it out at the table. What she was wrong for, he should have never let it out on the table. Regardless of what you do, you praise in public, you reprimand in private.
Period. Pooh.
So
Who taught you that?
he was definitely wrong about that. It was like, as it's funny because I'm trying to do the live tweeting thing during the episodes now.
Yeah.
If y'all on Twitter, follow at Joe Kind of 33 on Twitter. I'm
Yes.
trying to do the live tweeting thing, and I was about to like let off on the Elijah one. So I'm tweeting they because they happened and then they went to a commercial break. So I'm like, I'm literally writing a tweet like, why would Elijah one da 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 da, and then they come back before I can finish the tweet. And they like, oh, Shorty got a joint on her phone. It's a dating app. They go to the dating app and I immediately deleted the tweet. Like, come on, sis. What are you doing? What are you doing?
The problem is that he was right to feel away, and I don't care what anybody says.
Period.
I think that he made a very valid point. First of all, the way he handled it at the table was abhorrent.
Right.
It was
That
a
was
temper
wrong.
tantrum, and you are not to do me like that.
Right.
Period. Don't you ever, like, you know what I mean? You have to hold me in the highest regard. So every room we walk into, motherfuckers know what it is.
Right.
Period. Okay, that's number one. However, to give him a little bit of grace, he was absolutely right.
He
The
was right.
moment you found out that you was going to be on Married at First Sight, you should have deleted all this shit.
You dotting I's and crossing T's, bro. What do you mean? Like, not only that, but the idea, because I'm talking to Twitterverse now, the idea that him being upset was wrong
It's weird to
is
me
asinine.
because they don't even have a foundation.
Imagine a person you just met an
Yeah.
hour ago, like he said, which is what he communicated to her,
He communicated that well
and he
to
was
me.
right
Exactly.
because when he said, "We're trying to build trust. I just met you, so I'm trying to put my trust in a woman who I do not know."
Yeah. And he
And
was right.
and I'm not searching for, because if you search for it, you'll find it. He said, I wasn't searching for it. I was on your phone to do something for, I don't know, they was on a bus taking pictures and stuff. Maybe he was trying to take a picture or something like that. But it was clear that he didn't go searching for it. I stumbled upon you having a dating app on your phone. Like, the idea that, like, Katina wouldn't be the same type of upset that Olajuwon was if she found some shit like that on his phone is asinine. And y'all not gonna sit up here and cake like it's asinine.
I didn't even like the when on the after show when the John going to say like, well, I thought it was overdone. Like,
It
no,
was
it's
a
not.
red flag.
Hell no.
What?
But then turned around and said, if it was Mr. Kev, if it was Kevin,
Well, Keisha, give Keisha some props, because Keisha said, because what happened was Keisha asked the guest. I don't
I can't.
remember her
I
name.
think Melissa, maybe.
Keisha asked the guest about
I hope
the
I got
the
that right.
situation that happened with Katina and Olajuwon. She said, I thought it was a red flag and whoop de whoop de whoop de
I
whoop.
didn't think it was a red flag.
So
Oh, but go
Keisha,
ahead. Sorry.
I
Sorry,
didn't
babe.
either.
Sorry.
So
Sorry.
Keisha says, well, what would you have done if it was your husband? Which I thought was a poignant question that needed to be asked, because a lot of y'all don't know how to put the shoe on the other foot. Like, y'all see stuff one way and you're swayed by whatever it is the norm is, whether it's a man or a woman or whatever. Is
Mhm.
he black or he white or he tall or he small? Y'all strayed by a lot of stuff and y'all don't know how to call a spade a spade. Because Keisha was trying to get at, if it was Katina, if it was you, and you found a
Mhm.
dating app on your husband's phone, or if Katina found a dating app on Elijah's phone, we would be chewing him alive.
Period.
And nobody would say that Katina was wrong if she snapped on him.
Period.
Nobody.
And I think it was also important for Keisha to say he's scared. Like when you
Of
start liking
course.
somebody and getting into somebody
And trusting
and
them and
trust,
falling for them.
and you find certain things, it's like damn. And imagine he is in a place where he probably came from being like doing whatever the fuck he wanted to do, whatever the case may be. Now he's being committed, and he's feeling like this person
Vulnerable.
is vulnerable.
It's vulnerability.
And that's and you want to feel safe with your spouse. Now granted, is this a conversation that we can have? 1,000%, but I don't fault him for being upset. Like I don't,
No.
you know what I mean? Like, and even when they got in the house, he wasn't like turned the fuck up. Like I thought he was giving her like a little bit of room, and she was getting more upset. And I think that's primarily because she wanted to explain the situation. Like, but I think that sometimes we do this thing like, oh, it's not that big a deal. Like it ain't even that big a deal. Like, but
Imagine saying, come on,
you gotta
y'all.
have a
It's
little
not
bit
that big
more
a deal.
like,
That whole energy on the after party was pissing me off. I almost wanted to turn the shit off. Because imagine Elijah had that shit on his phone and somebody saying it wasn't a big
please.
deal.
They
It
would have
would
been
have
like,
never
here
happened.
go Isaac. Literally.
Literally,
Literally.
they would have said that. Like, they would. I mean, imagine anybody saying it's not a big deal.
Yeah. I don't see it that I just felt like, you know, I do think there's a place where you do. Let me tell you something. I get it. Let me say that first. I do understand because they coming from a place where they had one life just a month ago and now they into something new, right? So it does take time to clean your life up when you go from being single to not being single. Period, right? So I can
But we ain't
imagine
talking
from being
about a
single to being
stranger,
married. You know what I mean?
right? But we not even talking about a stranger hitting you. You can't control what other people do. We ain't talking about like a stranger hitting somebody up or somebody, an ex popping in or some shit like that. We talking about something
Something
that
you
you
could
can
control.
control. You got
Yeah.
to control what you can control.
Yeah.
And that's just a lesson for life. So
Yeah.
just and somebody on Twitter said, well, you know what? She said she forgot it, and I believe her. She could. That's
Oh, I believe it
I
too.
believe her too.
But that
Like,
don't
that's
mean
not
nothing.
that don't mean that
That
she
don't mean
wasn't
nothing.
wrong. That's what
But
I'm
that's
saying.
what people do not get.
That's what y'all don't
That
get.
doesn't make her like
Right.
that doesn't absolve her. She
No.
has a responsibility to show up a certain way and be a certain way with her spouse. Now, granted, the way he acted and everything may have been out of line, but I can imagine not 1,000% knowing somebody, having to trust them at face value, and then finding something like that. You feel like, damn, like, is this what it is?
A
Like,
1,000%, especially because just last season we caught somebody who was
literally.
swiping left and swiping right and was on the show.
Exactly. Last
Like,
season was a shit show.
we literally caught
It's a shit
we
show.
literally caught somebody who had an active account.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
imagine catching somebody who you don't know. Like, we talked to, I can't remember who that was in the comments, talked about giving grace last week and talk about how you can't give grace to a motherfucker you don't know. So
Exactly.
imagine coming to grips with that sentiment and understanding it, and then killing Olajuwon because he was pissed that he found a dating app on his wife's phone. Y'all don't keep the same energy, and that's why I can't get with some of y'all in the comments on Twitter and on, like, y'all never keep the same energy. Keep the same energy that you would have had if it was him. Keep the same energy with her.
See, the problem is that I give him the props for even for even saying anything because I would have just went and downloaded the dating app too. I'm petty. Like
I mean,
I'm gonna
yeah,
keep
it
the
could have
same
went. It could have
energy,
went a lot of different
queen. I
ways.
have like so for me it's like I applaud him for just saying how he feel and even being vulnerable in that moment to be like, damn, this really fucked me up. Like
Yeah,
I didn't expect that. Like, you know what I mean? Now I still cannot get past him at the motherfucking dinner.
that joint threw me. I literally was sitting
But
there like,
I was like, no, like this don't seem like our business. When Noy said, I
no,
feel like this is private,
this
I
is
felt the
very
same
private.
fucking way. Like, I don't even want y'all to be recording this right now. This
Yeah,
ain't none of our
let's cut the cameras off. Can we
business.
go? Are we done here?
Literally.
That's what I was
I
saying.
just was like, I'm not really here for it. And they look so cute and they pink. This was not the time. But I can
It
imagine, but I
wasn't.
also been
But your
in
spirit could
situations
be
where
broke. Like the night
you,
is over. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like you gotta understand. Also, put yourself in the shoes, which empathy. Like put yourself in those shoes. You having a good night out, y'all vibing, y'all with friends, da da da
yeah.
da da, and then some bullshit come across your phone that had to do with your spouse. The night is over. Like
But
I probably
I
like
well,
your
we
shit.
know, we know,
Come on, bro. You
we
already.
know.
Let me tell you something. The night is over.
We working on
It's
Joe
over.
because it
I
is.
can understand, like you, even if you don't act on it, like emotionally, spiritually, you checked out. You're checked out.
Yeah,
Like even if I
yeah.
tried to fake the funk and go through with the night, I'm sitting at the table like
You going through your mind like,
your mind
yeah,
is racing.
yeah,
You're not about to be at the table keying it up and talking about the
a
latest
thousand
episode
percent.
of Huntsville on. You know what I mean?
Not love and marriage Huntsville. So yeah, I don't know. How do y'all feel about it? How do y'all feel about the Katina and Elijah one thing? It's really a fascinating question. You know what I mean, like or dilemma, and I hope that they get past it. I'm certain they
They will
will.
get past it because he likes her
He like her,
and
and she like his
she
ass,
likes him, and I think that
and I like them.
she handles him pretty well, and I think that they'll make it through this.
But she
Like,
like, y'all about to see the real Katina.
how about that?
Girl, good night. We love you, boo, but we see the real one. She ain't doing much.
Yeah,
Like,
like it's what it
but
is.
it's okay, baby. You know what I mean? Like you right to be upset and want to fight for your situation. And you should. You know what I mean? You should show up and make sure he understands what's going on or whatever the case may be. And be like, boy, go through the app. So you can see anybody was fucking I wasn't swiping or having no messages with nobody. Like, you know what I mean? But it does take for somebody to calm down to get there. And I
But
think that
timing, like you're saying,
timing
timing.
and his was off. Let's be clear, because he fucked up the
But
whole
but
night.
but even at the even at the house, like that's not the time to challenge him. Like, you know what I mean? When y'all can sit down and talk about this, he's calmed down and you know what I mean, then you can, say, well, this is what happened and whoop de whoop. But that's not the time to beat your chest and stomp your feet. You know what I'm saying?
But I
Especially
think
when you know
that's a
like I was
muscle.
wrong.
I think that's a muscle, and I
It
think
is.
that that's something that you learn. I think you had to learn that
1,000%. Everybody coming into a
something
relation.
new. Yeah,
That's why I think that they need more sessions with the experts
yeah.
because these are things that you learn as you go along, things that you got to work through.
Mhm.
Especially imagine getting dropped out of your single life. Boom. Like, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? The rest
Mhm.
of us have been dating and engaged and
That
gone
was
through
kind of your story, though.
all of these. No, I didn't get dropped out of, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, I kind of like just popped up.
no, we met each other in high school. So you
I
didn't pop
hate
up.
when you do that.
I mean, it's just a fact. Like we did. You
But
know what
I
I'm saying?
mean, like our lives were different, and
Yeah,
then
but
we kind of
it
just
wasn't,
collided one
we
day.
didn't. We just never stopped talking ever. Like, so it's not the
No,
same
I don't
thing.
see it that
You don't
way.
have to see that way. It's a fact. Like we
Well,
never
you
stopped
can't
talking.
make
You
it a
was living
fact for me.
it's a fact because we have receipts. Like we don't need to go back and we like the time span and amount of time since high school that we
That's
stopped
not what I'm
talking. But I'm
saying.
saying what I'm saying is that imagine you get plopped into a marriage like from a single life. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't my situation. That wasn't our situation, right? I'm talking about somebody being literally single and not knowing a person
And I agree.
and then being married to them,
I
which
agree.
is not our experience. That is just a fact. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I say like we talk about two different things. Like there's a whole lot of nuance there that's not going to happen in the video. for another 15 minutes, right? So that's all
Yeah.
I'm saying. All I'm saying is I can empathize with that because in any relationship, you have to learn each other and you're gonna have
Hmm.
growing pains and you're gonna have to figure out and navigate a different space, which we
Hmm.
did, which every couple does. So that's all I'm saying. And the aspect of literally being in the streets one week and then being married the next week, nobody knows that but them, right? Which I understand why it's part of why they say why they are so close and why they spend time together because they say nobody can understand this.
Yeah,
Like, you know
I
what I mean?
agree that
Which that's all I'm saying. Like, we can't understand. We wasn't there. That's all I'm saying.
we wasn't there. We weren't there. This was a really good episode, I guess. I really wasn't sold. You liked it a lot more than I did. But
I mean,
no.
I just thought that they uncovered some stuff.
Mhm.
Lindsay and Mark made some
Yeah, that was
strides.
good.
You know
That
what
was
I
good.
mean? I
Yeah.
thought that this is going to be an important thing for Katina and Olajuwon. So I
Mhm.
think that this is going to be a pivotal moment for them.
Mhm.
And it might sound cliche, but what doesn't kill you does make you stronger. You know what I mean?
Especially when you're married.
Especially when you're married.
Child.
So I think that this is going to be a pivotal moment for them, and it's just going to make them stronger. And I think that we can
But
just put
sometimes we just tired of being strong.
that part. You do.
I'm
You
not that
get
motherfucking strong sometimes.
period. But I think that this will be uh a pivotal moment for them that will make them a stronger couple and will give them experience in getting through these type of issues and trust issues in general. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this is a trust issue
Yep.
because
Yep. And that's
there
a
is no
growing pain too. That's a
peer.
part of
Oh yeah,
growing as well. Like,
yeah,
you know what I
and
mean?
which
You
is
will have
common,
trust issues sometimes. Right.
and the one thing that I like that Katina found solace in when she was around the other couples was like, okay, we not alone. She said that, and you need to know like it's common. Like, we're not alone. Like, we have growing pains. You know what I mean?
You
And
do need to
it
know
helps
that.
bring perspective to your situation because I think especially when you just going through stuff and you isolated, you think like, oh, we ain't gonna make it because we fucked up. And then you talk to some other couples, some other people, and you like, nah, we not that fucked up. Like, everybody going
Do
through
we do
shit.
that? Oh, we do that for
A thousand
sure.
percent. We've
We do
done it
that for
multiple
sure.
times in our
That's true.
yeah.
And sometimes you need to know that, child, because
You need to.
it make you push you on one more day.
It do.
One more day, one more
It
hour,
will
one more minute.
it helps put things in
A
perspective. You know what I
thousand
mean?
percent.
Like, yeah, we might have differences and we might have to navigate some stuff, but we talk to some other couples and it's like, all right, like
Yeah.
one, we not a unicorn. Like, we not that different from our problems ain't that different from other people's
Mm-hmm.
problems. And it gives you um, reassurance that like you can work through this shit.
And
Like,
still sharp and still y'all gotta date people, date couples. Because
yeah,
people, one thing about another couple, they gonna want you to stay the fuck together.
that's a fact.
You know what I mean? They're gonna fight for you just as hard as you fighting for you. So if you married or you in a relationship with somebody, go get y'all a couple and date them. We
Yeah.
date people. And not on no swinger shit, you
Oh
nasty
no,
mother.
no, don't take it that way.
Not on no swinger Saturday.
No, don't take it that
At
way.
least not yet.
Marriage is still life. So
Exactly,
who
right?
knows?
Who knows?
60 years. I don't know.
If you have not already, buzz down, subscribe to this Mary Tapping channel. Let us know how you guys felt about Married at First Sight. This is episode 11.
Yeah.
We are at the halfway mark. I hope we don't got 11 more episodes, bitch, because I ain't got it.
No, I mean, decision day is happening soon. This was their 1 month anniversary.
Yeah.
And typically once they hit the 1 month, decision day is only like a couple more episodes.
Well, good.
Maybe one or two.
Good. Cause y'all wearing us out. But buzz down, subscribe to this channel. Me and my honey got to go, baby. And we'll see you beautiful mother jumpers later. Bye.